What's up, guys? JP back at you once again, bringing you guys another episode in my entire DVD and Blu-ray collection. This is a series where I walk you guys through my entire collection, show off each of my titles and editions, and talk about them a little bit on the way. This is episode number 14. Thank you for joining me. Let's jump right into it. First up, we have House and House 2. This was kind of a hard find back in the day when I first started collecting, or when I first, really seriously started collecting. It had House and House 2. I believe at the time either House 2 was really out of print or it didn't even have a release at all except for in this double pack. You could find House very cheap, but to find it with House 2 was a little bit harder. I think I ended up paying like $25 for this used. And that was just how much of a fan of these films that I was, and I wanted to revisit them so bad because I hadn't seen them since I was a kid. I used to watch these all the time. I remember they would always air in like a double bill on TV, and I just always fell in love with like the mysterious fantasy world that these films set up. And some people kind of roll their eyes at the House films, but I've always really liked them. I've not seen the horror show, which is kind of like a House 3. It's not really related, but in name only. And I've never seen House 4, but these first two, man, just something about them I've always really loved. They're fun, they're entertaining, and believe it or not, the first one used to actually creep me out quite a bit when I was a kid. Both of these films are well worth the pickup. I don't know if you can still get them relatively cheap or not. I don't know if you can really find this edition. This edition does have a couple commentaries on it, both for House 1 and House 2. It has a commentary each and a featurette on the first House film. So if you can find this edition, I do recommend grabbing it because Image owns these films now, and I doubt they're going to port them to Blu-ray anytime soon. Actually, one of them might. I think House might have actually made it to Blu-ray, but I don't think House 2 did. So that is House and House 2. After that, we have The House of the Devil. This is one that I've never been the biggest fan of. When it first came out, I remember hearing a lot of hype about it. Maybe I got a little bit overhyped, which is my fault, I guess. But going into it, I love the setup. I think that the film works best the first time you see it. It really doesn't work on rewatch. I found myself to be more and more bored the more times I've watched it. I've probably watched it about 3 times already, and I really don't want to revisit it for quite a while. I covered it on the podcast in one of the early episodes, and it's slow burn. It's good. I love the opening setup, the girl with the Walkman and stuff. But now that I think about it, after seeing it a few times, I remember a few key scenes, and it takes up about 20 or 30 minutes of the film. And I'm like, what the hell happened the rest of the film? Like, where did the other like 60 minutes go? Because I can't really remember them. So it really was just a lot of slow shots, walking shots, and just kind of lingering shots, and that's kind of the film. And I normally love that stuff, but something about this one, I don't know. I guess maybe I watched it a couple too many times. So I'll definitely wait a little while longer before checking it out again, but it's a film that a lot of people do love, so I can't talk too bad about it since I'm kind of in the minority. After that, we have House of Wax. This is one that I've never really cared for, but at the same time, I don't hate it like other people do either. I think this one has gotten a little bit more love over the years. I remember it came out in that era where I was really doing a lot of partying in high school or middle school, and hanging with my friends and in one of my friends' basements, and we would always just pop in a DVD. I remember we watched Black Christmas a lot, but we also watched House of Wax, and even back then I just thought it was kind of okay. They liked it a little bit more than me. It's one that I haven't really revisited in a while, so I can't really comment too much on it. This DVD case is beat to shit, by the way, but I haven't really changed it out because it's House of Wax and I really don't care about it all that much. But some people do like it, so House of Wax. After that, we have House on Haunted Hill and Return to House on Haunted Hill. These are two films that I was really curious about. Return to House on Haunted Hill because I'd never seen it. But the original, or the remake of House on Haunted Hill, I remember watching when it first came out, like 98, 99 or whatever, and just loving it. I was so scared by it. It's so funny to think now that this film scared me so much. I remember, like, I really just did not want the characters to go down in the basement, like, so bad. I was just like, please don't go in the basement. Please don't go in the basement. Because, I don't know, something about the basement just scared the hell out of me. Now, you know, rewatching it years and years and years later, it's kind of dated. It really doesn't hold up at all. There's some bad CG and stuff in it, and I was just kind of like, wow, man, I cannot believe this used to scare me. I still enjoyed it a little bit, but it definitely was nowhere near as good as I built it up in my head over the years. And Return to House on Haunted Hill was just kind of mediocre and average. I really didn't care for it at all. Kind of forgettable. Actually, kind of a pain to sit through. Both of these films are not the greatest, but I definitely like House on Haunted Hill, even though it doesn't hold up to what I remembered it in my head. After that, we have The House That October Built. This is one that I picked up at the very end of the year last year, like the beginning of this year. So I just finished my top 10 of 2014 list, and unfortunately I wasn't able to see this, you know, before I made the list, so I wasn't even worried about watching it. I was just like, I guess I'll just hold off now and you know, watch it whenever I get the chance. And you know, it's kind of just in that limbo spot because right after I spend a lot of time trying to, you know, catch up on films to do a top 10 list every year. As soon as I'm done with that top of 10 list, all I want to do is like watch the stuff from the 80s and 70s and 90s and sort of the retro horror because I'm, you know, completely burned out on you know, all the new stuff. So this one was kind of just in a limbo spot where I just was completely uninterested in it. I gotta start watching these films for 2015 now pretty soon just to kind of get caught up and prepare for my end of the year top 10 list again. So I don't know when I'll ever get to this one. Honestly, maybe this October, since it is like a, looks like it's a film that might be set on Halloween or whatever. I have heard people say that it's decent, but I've also heard people say that the ending really kind of hurts it. I don't know if I'm really gonna you know, run out and see this one anytime soon. Possibly October though. After that, we have The Howling, and this is a DVD that I picked up a while back. I love the slipcover, you know, it kind of has that embossed feel to it. Really, really cool stuff here. And this movie was so hyped for me because I'd heard that it was one of the best werewolf films of all time, and everybody always included it on their best werewolf films. And I remember when I first started noticing the horror community, I did a lot of like searches like, what's the top 10 best werewolf films? What's the top 10 best vampire films? What's the top 10 best slasher films? And I would try to weed out the films that I hadn't seen yet based off of those lists that I found on YouTube and stuff, because I grew up watching horror, but you know, I was only able to see what was in my local video stores, and honestly a lot of films I just never had a chance to see when I was growing up. So I was kind of crossing a lot of them off my list when I first started getting into collecting and watching YouTube and stuff. And The Howling was one of them. Prom Night was also one of them. But The Howling was one of those werewolf films that always popped up as like the best werewolf film, or you know, one of the best horror films. So when I finally bought it, you know, I found it for like 20 bucks in FYE in this DVD. And when I finally, you know, took it home and watched it, I was really disappointed. I was like, that was the movie that everybody was talking about? Now, fortunately, I did check it out on Blu-ray just maybe a couple months ago and loved it, so I don't know what the hell I was smoking back then, but I think it was just, you know, I kind of built it up in my head a little too much. Now, Prom Night, that's another story. We'll get to that later, but I did not have the same re-emergence, like, awesome feeling that I ended up getting for The Howling. After that, we have The Howling 2. What sucks about this is shortly after I picked this up, Scream Factory announced that they were going to be doing a Blu-ray, so I should have known better, especially since this one was out of print and I ended up paying like 10 bucks for it anyway. That annoys me. I've never seen this film. I've only seen the first Howling movie, but they kind of got me interested to watch like the whole series. Unfortunately, you can't get, I think, the 7th or 9th film, one of them, 7th, 8th film, on DVD in the US, which really bums me out. So I don't know, maybe have to import it from the UK or something, but it would be pretty fun to do a retrospect on all the Howling films. I'm sure they're awfully bad, but I love torturing myself, and I love torturing Moods and Jeremy more than even torturing myself, so that's something that I would love to do one day. After that, we have The Howling 3, 5, and 6. There's actually not, the 4th one is actually not in here, and I don't know anything about these ones. The Howling 3 is the Australian one that I guess is like super, super goddamn ridiculous. I don't know anything about Howling 5 or 6. I do know the fourth one is like a prequel. I got it in this trilogy pack here. I mean, this thing is pretty awful looking. Like I said, I think it would be fun to do those films, but I know they're bad. I know they have to be bad. The Howling 4, I think I've heard actually some okay things about this one, but you know, it's not one that I'm overly familiar with. I do know that it, I think, is a prequel or is based on the original novel more. I'm not really sure. It's kind of weird that I have this one. It's like, you know, you have this one that's 3, 5, and 6, and then this one that's kind of like in the middle of those two, but it's on its own disc. It's kind of a weird way to own these. But the Howling 4. After that, we have the Howling Reborn, which I think is like the remake, or just, I don't even think it's a remake. It's just the last one they made that's very modernized and stuff. I don't know. I really don't know about these films. After that, we have the Human Centipede. I actually really liked this film when it came out. I was super blown away by it. I did not see the hype. Somehow I was able to avoid the hype. I caught it on Netflix, and it seriously like shocked me. I was just like, wow, wow, wow. I think it was like what you didn't see really got under my skin, made my stomach hurt, and just, you know, kind of disturbed. And you know, a lot since then I've rewatched it, and it definitely, I see more flaws in it, but I still feel it's a really strong effort, and I dug it, and I'm looking forward to that box set, simply because it would be cool to have the third one and all of them in the same you know, set. And honestly, it's not a film that definitely needed upgraded, but you know, for the third one I think it's worth it. And then the second one I actually forgot I had. I forgot I owned this, so it made the box set a little bit less valuable to me, you know, or a little bit, you know, less necessary, I guess. I didn't like this one. I really didn't. I actually really didn't like it at all. I was just like, man, this one just feels shocking for the sake of shocking. It lost like what I liked about the first one, and this one just, everything that I liked about the first one, they just Tom Six just seemed like he did the opposite in this one. I was also drinking and at a friend's house when we was watching it, so it was a little fuzzy in my memory, so I think I do need to give it another shot, but it's definitely not going to be right now. After that, we have Fangoria Fright Fest presents Hunger. There are 8 of these. I only have this one, but I just ordered, I think, 5 more. And this one is one that I actually like. I have heard bad things about the Fangoria Fright Fest films, but this one I think is a very strong cannibal film. I love this one. It's a contained horror. I thought this one was really, really good, honestly. Like, there wasn't many things I didn't like about it. I thought it played out well. The concept was great. I mean, it's a really cool little film. After that, we have Hypothermia. Now, this one is just awful. Cool ass cover. It should be good. You know, Dark Sky Films, Michael Rooker. And it just flops, man. It's all because of choosing a practical effects suited guy playing a monster. It just looks absolutely ridiculous. They showed it way too much. Good concept, overall good setup, and just awful, I mean awful execution. Really disappointing with this one, man. I mean, they just dropped the ball, shit the bed, whatever you want to say, man. They just fucking sucked when it came to the execution. That one's such a disappointment because it was so cool. You know, it started out so cool. After that, we have I Am Legend. I actually have a full screen edition. You know, it's not true full screen, unfortunately, but it is full screen. I don't know. I seen this in the theater, fucking oddly enough, and I've never been the biggest fan of it. It's alright. Will Smith's a good actor and stuff. There's some sad moments in it, like with the dog and stuff. A lot of CG though, man. I don't know. It was just not the best effort. I don't know. After that, we have I Know What You Did Last Summer, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. The first one, I really like it. I know it's super fucking cliche. Everybody, 90s, teeny bopper, whatever you want to say. I fucking like it. I was like, 8 years old when this came out, and I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I still enjoy it to this day. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, I also really like. I don't know, I watched it a bunch when I was a kid. I like them both. Now, it's probably been a good 5 years since I watched these, but last time I watched them, I still liked them, so I'm still saying that I like these films. I know they're cliche as hell. I remember even, thinking about, I heard a podcast where they was talking about them, and I was like, oh yeah, that is really cliche. They was pointing out all the cliche stuff. But I still like them. I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, completely god awful. That one was just weird. I didn't even know they had made it when I picked up this set. Yeah, these are fun though, man. I like the first two. After that, I Spit on Your Grave, the classic. This movie I've never been the biggest fan of, but it's definitely growing on me, man. It's good stuff. It's hardcore, make you want to throw up, just make you feel dirty. The cover alone makes you feel dirty. I've talked about this a lot, but this is one of my favorite cover arts because I remember seeing this in the video store and just being like, this just seems like something I shouldn't watch. I was allowed to watch anything as a kid, right? I was allowed to watch, as long as it's not like hardcore porn, I guess. But even then, they never said I couldn't. So I mean, like, I remember seeing this poster and I was just like, that just seems like something I shouldn't watch. And nobody had even told me not to. It just, my own judgment kicked in and I was like, no, that's a little too hardcore for me. So yeah, I mean, but great movie. I mean, it's just one that I just never really liked because I just didn't like all the rape in it. But I've gotten more comfortable with rape over time. And, last time I watched it, I was like pretty impressed at how well structured the movie was. After that, we have Ice Cream Man and Jack Frost 2. Still bummed that I can't get Jack Frost 1 on DVD. I think it's like super out of print. Ice Cream Man, classic, love it. I actually just watched the Monster Vision episode on Ice Cream Man. Great episode. You can actually watch that on my website, 22shotsatmoodsandhorror.com. Me, Jeremy and Moods' website. I uploaded it. Click Vault of Horror over on the sidebar or Monster Vision over on the sidebar, and you can actually check out the full episode. Clint Howard makes an appearance. It's awesome. Love that movie. It's one of my favorites from the 90s. Jack Frost 2, never seen it, never seen the original. I kind of want to do a Jack Frost show on the podcast, though, maybe this December, so maybe we'll find a way to do that. After that, we have Idle Hands. This is one that I really dug when I was younger. I remember seeing previews for it all the time. Like, anytime I rented a movie, it would have the preview to Idle Hands on it, and it took me years to see it. I finally seen it. I really, really liked it. Now, not so much. It's okay. It does take place on Halloween, though, so it might be a decent one to rewatch during Halloween. But I don't know. It was way better in my memory, which we're seeing a theme here tonight with that. And finally, for this part, we have In Fear. This was another one that I picked up for like my top 10 horror films of like 2013 or 14 and just never got to it. So kind of is also sitting in limbo where there's really no direct need to watch it right now because those lists are already done and I'd rather watch the pile of other shit that I haven't seen yet. So I'll get to it eventually, but as of right now, I got too much shit to watch. So I'll see you guys next time with another part. Got like major heartburn right now, and my back's all hurting from sitting in this chair so long. See you guys next time. Peace.